The mic works, yay. Hi everyone, I am Wendy O, and we are going to be hosting a panel on how to build a crypto company. One of the reasons why this panel is so important is because we are in the midst of a crypto bear market or a crypto protect your capital. During these types of market, there's not a lot to do. Price is literally going sideways. So in this time, it's a good time to consider to continue to educate yourself or build something that is really cool with like-minded people. So I would like to go ahead and I would like you guys to introduce yourselves, give a brief summary of what you're working on and why.
Hey everyone, my name is Shan Belew. Can you guys hear me? No? Hey everyone, my name is Shan Belew. So I've been in crypto since 2017. And since that time, I've basically, so I initially started a company called Crypto Keys. It's a way for you to back up your hardware wallet or non-custodial wallet. And so basically what I developed was, there's a lot of companies out there that created these metal backups. I really wasn't impressed with the style that they had, so I ended up creating a product called Crypto Keys. And when I first created them, it was during the bear market, and so sales were really slow. And actually, my wife and I were going to stop the business, and then all of a sudden, my phone just blew up. And it turns out that Jameson Lopp reviewed our product and ended up scoring it all A's. And from there, just sales were doing really well, right? And so that was a business we started. And then since then, I'm also working on look into Litecoin. So I encourage all you guys to visit our website. It's a very popular website where we write articles about Litecoin.
Good afternoon. My name is Blake Rizzo. If you were here just 2 sessions ago, you know that I am a lawyer for the Litecoin Foundation, but I also have my own practice where I counsel crypto companies, startup companies from beginning to the end. I act as outside general counsel to a number of entities in both bear and bull markets, so I'm definitely familiar with what it takes to run a successful organization in these environments.
Yeah, Jerry Rucker, aka Crypto Blood. Thank you guys for having us, for sure. I got into crypto in 2013, and I'm a serial entrepreneur, just bouncing all around. I actually started accepting crypto with my web development company back in 2014. And through the years, just, exploring cryptos, love it, love the community. Litecoin is the right coin, right? One thing I did want to say, kind of off topic, I think I saw Tom, we're in a group on Telegram, and people were talking about Litecoin and, it's a dead coin and all that. And it's crazy because I actually remember the altcoin seasons 1 and 2. And does anyone remember like Peercoin, Feathercoin,
yes.
WorldCoin? Okay, are they still around? No. Litecoin is though, right? Okay, that's what I thought. Just wanted to make that point clear because we get a lot of flack for people who support Litecoin. It's an OG coin, and I think it still has a lot of growth to go through. But back on me, crypto entrepreneur, quant trader. I develop quant systems. And right now, I launched Bloodalytics, which is a kind of trend signal service. So that's kind of what I'm doing in this space right now.
Nice. My name is Paul Bradley. Can you hear this? I'm with Feathercoin. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh,
We were about to drag you, sir.
get off the
Just kidding.
stage.
No, I'm kidding. My background is finance and banking and all the fun stuff that you guys love to talk about. And I'm in fintech, and I really got involved in 2017. I got the bug in 2017, and that was it. I should have just quit my job then. It would have made things so much easier if I just walked out the day I found out about crypto. So what we ended up doing was taking all the stuff I know about banking and then trying to learn as much as I know about cryptocurrencies, and the powers that be in cryptocurrencies, and I could not do it all myself. So partnered with David Schwartz, as you know. But fintech is our space, and we feel we're helping the adoption.
Thank you, everyone. My next question might be a bit of a tough question, but I'm assuming that most of you had traditional jobs before going full-time crypto or starting a company in crypto. Can you explain what that transition was like? I feel like there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there, but they don't talk about that story. They don't talk about what clicked, and they don't talk about how that transition was from earning a paycheck for a 9 to 5 and then jumping into becoming your own boss, because being your own boss is not always easy.
I can start, yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah, so previously I worked at a national laboratory as an engineer. I did that for 17 years. I started learning about crypto. And like I said, I got a paper wallet and I got a hardware wallet, and I realized I wanted to create a product. So I did that on the side, obviously, right? So I still had a full-time position. And then I started realizing that I wanted to move into crypto full-time. So I actually switched employers and did that for 11 months while I was still learning about crypto. And then eventually I got to a point where I was able to just work on crypto full-time. Yeah, so it's, for me, I also do technical analysis, and I look at, I trade these assets. In my previous position, I would work on HVAC systems, and I would look at trend data. And so for me to come over to crypto and trade and whatnot, it was very intuitive. And so that's what I enjoy doing. So, yeah, thank you.
For me, I've been a lawyer for 26 years, so I didn't necessarily change being a lawyer, but when you're a 21-year commercial litigation practice, that's all you've been doing, that's all you know, you've worked at firms all your life, and to make a decision to basically go head first into the crypto pool with not a single client, having no idea if you were going to make it, it was scary as hell. But, for whatever reason, I was called to do it. I felt like I had to do it. I talked about it a bit in my speech earlier. But, the one thing that I realized quickly was that I needed to get online. I wasn't even on Twitter in 2018. So I got online, did my very first podcast with Miss Crypto Wendy O. My second podcast with this man right here. Got connected with the Litecoin Foundation, and so I started to slowly build up my business. And it was, hard because, you're accustomed to a certain income. You've got kids in private schools, you depend on that paycheck. And so I had to make some adjustments. Actually, my wife, who had been home with the kids for 12 years, she went back to work. So I could have the freedom to pursue this career. And so obviously, thank you very much, babe, for that. But yeah, it was difficult, but the best decision I ever made.
For me, it was pretty easy because I bought Litecoin at 56 cents.
Oh, come on,
So,
come on. Tell us the struggle.
So, no, I really did. But the struggle was from actually building like a presence online as a crypto influencer. That's what they call us, right? So that's been was a struggle for a long time. But I will say, like, mining was a bridge for me, an income bridge for me. I was able to mine script coins for a few years. Doge, I was an early Dogecoin miner, early Litecoin miner. So that income, that steady income, did help bridge me from Web 2, which was I was a web developer. I had a web development company, into where we are now with Web 3. But yeah, the struggle is real. It's always been real. And but as an entrepreneur, I'm a serial entrepreneur. You adapt to it. You roll with the punches, and you figure it out. Like under pressure is when you are your best, in my opinion. So hey, that's.
Yeah, I'm more like Blake than you. You sound like you had a nice roll into it. I was at a publicly traded bank in 2018, had done a project for a company. I was the banking side of a company called, Alliant Payments. So I talked this guy, Eric Brown, into, you've got to pursue this, and I will be your bank, and we made it work. After that happened, I figured the bank would be really excited about it. They hated it. And so I didn't really have a choice I was too far down the rabbit hole in crypto. So I left. And what that meant for me was my peers, my banking peers, thought I had a mental breakdown. And that was sure to come soon, right? So it was very stressful. And a lot of those early days, I would close the door and either my arm hairs would stand up. I was so excited. I'm onto this. I know it'll work. I can make it work. Or I would just literally hit the ground on my knees and be like, what have I done? So that was about 2 years of roller coaster until I just had the confidence to say, there's no turning back. It's either make it or I die. We're going to make it. So that was what my experience looked like.
So one of the things that I've noticed from all the different speakers is that networking to some extent did help with the entrepreneurism. And that's actually helped with me. If I did not put myself out there and host events and network and talk to people, come to amazing events like Litecoin Summit of 2022, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Can you gentlemen up here please talk a little bit about how networking has helped your business, and what tips and tricks would you recommend to the audience? Or maybe, what do you wish somebody would have told you before jumping out there?
Okay, so for me, if you know who I am, I'm on Twitter like 24/7, and so I use Twitter as a tool to connect with other people who are in this space, and basically you learn so much information, right? So I've been able to reach out to many folks to understand this whole industry, and that's kind of why I've been on there, and my whole goal is to kind of teach others, and through that process, we actually networked with 2 people that are here, which was Sage and Dorian, and I helped them kind of think about creating their own business. So now they actually created Liteverse, and they launched the first NFT marketplace. And then through looking to Litecoin, we started writing articles, and I reached out to some community members that were on Twitter, and I was like, hey, you do a really good job of kind of discussing Litecoin, and I think it would be great if you could come write with us on our website, right? And so now we are like I think we're the world's first and the only really place where we actually write articles specifically about Litecoin, because it's underrepresented. And so there's like 8 people who have came into look into Litecoin and have written with us. And we're not sure where the business is going to go in the future. We may go like a nonprofit potentially, or just create a profit company. But for me, the biggest thing was obviously networking and coming to an event like this. I've never actually came to an event like this. This is my first time doing this. It is amazing, right? Just the physical interaction, meeting people. Yeah. And there's folks already in here that I've already chatted with that just, you would never meet them anywhere else if you didn't come here. And not everyone's like-minded, but we're all focused on, sound money for the future and crypto for everybody. So thanks.
Before I let Blake speak, I just want to remind the audience that it is so, so important to get in real life interaction. Don't let the media fool you. Do not let anyone tell you differently. Coming to events, or maybe you're somebody that wants to host your own event, it can change your entire trajectory. Just meeting with a person once can do that for you. Go ahead, Blake.
Yeah, thank you. So like I said a minute ago, I did not have a social media presence at all, because I was just a lawyer doing commercial litigation. Didn't see the need for it. So I got into social media in 2018 and, had a decent following, got on some really great podcasts, was having fun with it. But the mistake that I've made and continue to make to this day is I'm not near as involved as I need to be. I'm not consistent with it, right? I get to a point to where I'm just working and I'm putting out work, but I'm not on social media, and I need to be. But what I have done is connect with other lawyers in Houston, where I'm from, and go to events like this to talk to other lawyers, connect with lawyers on Twitter. I'm not posting a lot, but I'm at least following and listening to what they say. So, just about a month ago, I had someone call me up and said, hey, I got a referral, I need some help, I'm in the crypto space, so-and-so referred me. I was like, this is a lawyer I haven't talked to in 10 years, But because I've made the circles and everyone kind of knows that, I was like one of the very first lawyers in Houston to kind of, go get into this space. You go to enough events and word gets around, and when someone comes up and talks to a lawyer, hey, I'm looking at this crypto project, but they don't really know what to do, you need to be in a position where your name is the first one that pops up into their head. So I definitely think the personal networking and consistent social media presence is a really good thing and something that I need to do a lot better job at.
Yeah. I would say these conferences, coming to the conferences are great, but not sitting listening to us on a panel. That's not where the magic happens. It's afterwards. It's at the mixers, the parties. For me, at least, that's when I was able to expand my network, talk to various people, meet new friends, and build that network. Your network is your net worth. So as one of your goals should be to expand your network, and I think that's so very important. And in real life events are very important, like Wendy said. I think you need those. They're not the same as having a webinar where you have a whole bunch of Zoom screens up there. You just don't get the same synergy. And so, going to those in real life events are very important for any business.
So 4 years ago, I was at the first Litecoin Summit and supported my guy who was talking from behind the scenes. And I said to myself, one day that'll be me up there, right? And 4 years later, here I am. I'm very proud of that personally. But where networking works for me, GetHedge sells into some financial institutions. We need legitimate legacy type partners. Nobody in the world is going to do business with me if as much as I think I'm a great salesman, you're not going to sell somebody on crypto unless they know you, unless they have a referral. So warm leads are the lifeblood of our business. So coming to events like this, they really accelerate. I'll stay busy after this week and Money 2020 next week. It'll charge me for about 2 or 3 months, and then I'll go back out. So I'll be that busy when I finish these 2 weeks. So it's crucial, and and as I build friends and they get to know me personally, they go, yeah, I can vouch for him. Like, I'll be his ace. I trust him. And then that opens the door. So without warm leads and networking, I'd be dead in the water.
Can I just say one more thing, Wendy? I don't know of the people in the room, if you're influencers or trying to, start your own channel or whatever. That is one thing you should be looking to do is get on other people's channels. That is a way to really grow your network within the influencer space. I will say that. Just wanted to drop that one on them because I think that's one thing that we missed. At least I did starting out. I never went on other people's channels, but I started to learn, hey, you got to get involved in other people's audience because then their audience could possibly come over to your space, and that's how you can organically grow your following a little bit more.
Kind of to piggyback off of what you said is, even in traditional industries, if you own your own business, find somebody that you can almost partner with that can offer a service you can't. Right. Come up with an agreement, whether it is a verbal agreement or written agreement, like, hey, I do electrical work, and I can't do plumbing, but I know this really great plumber. And then that plumber will do the same thing. Hey, I do really great plumbing, but I'm not an electrician. Here's an electrician that I recommend. So that would be another really great tactic, and also part of networking is to make friends with people, get to know them that are part of different industries, maybe go to different events or different conferences that can showcase that. But now here's a really hot question, and you guys don't have to answer if you don't want to. But monetarily, how do you prepare for a bear market? Right now that we know that crypto operates in a 4-year cycle until proven otherwise. But do you save money? Do you have a bear market plan? Like, how am I going to obtain clients? How am I going to get revenue? Because let's face it, when Bitcoin is tanking, the rest of the market does for now. And I think it's important to share what tips and tricks you guys have done to either preserve your capital, to preserve the business during this crypto winter.
Yeah, so for our business, specifically the crypto keys, it's pretty much flat. It's dead, right? And so the same thing kind of happened in 2019 when we first launched. So during these times, you can see the people that are here in this audience, right? It's only the quality people who understand this technology and understand the future that are here. So it's a pretty small subset of people, right? So you have to prepare for that. And you mentioned, Blake, that your wife works, right? So my wife is the primary person who brings in income into our family. And it allows me to do, work essentially on these businesses, right? Potentially. So, and how I prepare, we are kind of crazy. My family and I, my wife and I, we are 100% in Litecoin. We're kind of like Didi, if you guys know who that is a little bit, right? And see, I saw the way he lived his life, and I wanted to work less and spend more time with my family. And so, when the bear market's down, we're hurting, obviously, but we're riding through it, So it's great, but yeah.
So you did have a plan, though.
Of course, yeah. We're all in, yeah.
So I can answer this question in two ways, I guess, because, for me personally, the bear market sucks a lot of times because companies are trying to hold on to their funds, and the last thing they want to do is go hire a lawyer if they don't necessarily need to. So, I have to plan ahead by saving money when times are good, making sure that when I'm making enough funds from clients in good markets, that, I put some away because we know cyclically it's going to come back. But, I did bankruptcy litigation for 20 years and commercial litigation, and I've counseled tons of clients in the bankruptcy space, but also now in the crypto space. And so, in bear markets, you really have to control your spend. You have to budget. And that's what I find a lot of my clients just don't get. They may be really technically smart, but they've never run a business. They've never had to balance a budget. And they've never had to think about what would happen if crypto prices tanked. And so, for those of you that are, own your own crypto business, you really have to get someone in there that can understand money and know how to prepare for the inevitable.
So for me, as I told you guys at the beginning, I'm an active trader. I'm a quant trader. So I code systems to basically look for buy and sell signals within the market. So that's really been a blessing for me. Before trading crypto, I traded FX for 6 or 7 years. But the crypto markets are so much better because, a 10% move can happen in the market in one day, which a 1% move in FX is big, right? So we can really extract a lot of the value out of or exploit the volatility in the crypto markets. So that's how I make money on a regular basis. So up, down, as long as it doesn't go sideways, which is kind of going sideways right now. So I'm not making as much money right now. But if we have a market that goes up or down, we're able to really exploit that.
So there are two answers for me. One is business and one's personal. Personally, I have taken my own advice and dollar cost average, and I'm in a position to where personally I can weather the next cycle. From a business standpoint, I would say that's not necessarily true, but my business specifically, when the Bitcoin highs and the market's running, you're just scrambling. You don't have time to do anything else except just what's right in front of your face. So we designate these times to build. This is where we want to go. We're trying to establish our brand, and we're going to build in the slow times. So we are more advanced, have better tools, and we're able to capitalize on the next runs. And in order to do that, typically in tech firms, when you build, you do VC rounds. So we do the VC round in January, and right now we're doing a WeFunder platform. But all of those funds will go to build the next generation, so we're the strongest and best for the next round.
I think we're almost done, but I think my last question I have for you guys is going to be a short answer. But what was the aha moment like, I'm in the right place. This is what I'm supposed to do. I was born to do this.
Yeah, so for me, when somebody first told me about it, I worked with a coworker about Bitcoin and Litecoin. It was like 2011, 2012. He looked me in the eyes and he said, do whatever you can to learn about this. And I didn't. I thought it was a scam. There's no way you could have money on the internet that you could copy. It wasn't possible. Fast forward, he retired at a young age in 2017. And then I saw that. And then, so I made a decision to myself that I was going to learn about it in like 2 weeks. I was going to figure out if it's real or not. About day 2, I was like, this is, I think, the future. I sent money to a paper wallet on a Saturday night, and I was like looking at it, thinking to myself, this is amazing. So in my head, it immediately clicked, and I realized this is money, and this is the future.
Yeah, for me, it was almost exactly 4 years ago. Next week, it'll be 4 years. I was standing on the balcony at Caesar's Palace after the Litecoin Summit and World CryptoCon in 2018. And it was because of that conference that I just completely fell in love with the space. It was an amazing event. I had never seen so many happy, awesome people. And I literally tell you, I was sitting there, it was about 2 a.m., and this was not drug-induced at all. And it was like I had this epiphany, and it was crystal clear in my mind that I had to leave. I had to start my own practice. And I went back Monday that day and told my partners I was leaving. So it was an event like this that just blew my mind and gave me the confidence and clarity that this is what I needed to do.
How many people have heard of chargebacks? All right, you guys know that was my aha moment, and it was well after I got into crypto. But I, in my web development company, I had this guy come to me, or a company, and they wanted me to do a logo design, a web design, whole package. I'm like, okay, great. So they send them a link through FreshBooks. They pay with a credit card. I start working on it. A month in, we're all good, and then I get a chargeback. Chargeback $2,800. I just did all this work. What the hell? And I said, man, I wouldn't have this issue if he would have paid in crypto. There's no way he could have charged me back. And so that was literally my aha moment within the crypto space. That little thing, chargeback, made me think like, wow, this is the future where, if you think about it, like a credit card, you're essentially, if I had to like compare apples to apples, a credit card is like you're giving them your private key and they're taking the money out of your wallet or account, right? That's what a credit card is. Why have we been doing that for so long? It should be the other way around, where we issue the payment to the individual, not the other way around. So yeah, that was my aha moment.
And mine was, I was still at the bank, and I was determined I was going to make this payment flow work. The bank told me no. I happened to get some insight from one of the Fed governors, James Bullard, I think is who it was, who basically confirmed what I had been saying. It could work. And so once I had confirmation, not from the bank, but through processes, that it could work, it was legal, I'm not doing anything. In fact, this looks to be a better system than credit cards as far as visibility and KYC and AML and so forth. So once I realized that this was possible, and it wasn't just some funny idea ahead in my head, it changed my life. And from there on out, I either made great friends or great enemies, because you're not going to stop me from doing this, essentially. So that was my aha.
Thank you all so much for watching and listening to this panel and these amazing men speak about their experiences as entrepreneurs, because entrepreneurship is very, very hard. I highly recommend you check